Hi, my name is Sherry and welcome back to Will Candles. I make videos all about candle making and the candle business. Today's video is going to be a candle business Q&A. So I went back through all of my videos and I took a look at all the questions that were being asked, and some of them, actually quite a few of them, very similar. So I said, okay, let me pull out what seems to be the most important and I'm going to give you the answers all at once in one video. And then immediately following that, one of my private club members asked me a question. I think it was last night or the night before, and I said that I could do it. So I'm going to add that to the end after the questions, and we are going to be talking about how to prepare. What do you need to do to get ready to launch a website to sell your candles? Of private members, we have a new one. We have Miss Catherine, who has joined us in our private candle makers club, along with Peter. So shout out to you guys and thank you for joining the club. And for the rest of you, Peter and Catherine were able to get a heads up on what today's video was going to be about before I even finished recording it. So that's just one of your perks of being a club member, is that you'll get heads up on the new videos that are coming up, and also you'll probably get some tidbits and information that non-members won't be able to see because it's only mentioned within the private club membership. Okay, moving on to your Q&A, questions and answers. So these are in no particular order. They were just in random as I was going through the videos, and I have my handy dandy notes down here, as you know, so I'm reading off of them. So, where do you buy your 3-wick candle vessels with the black lids? I buy those from CandleScience. So for everyone who knows, the larger clear jars with the 3 wicks that you see me using, like when I did the wick burning test, that those jars that you saw there did come from CandleScience, with also, and you can order the lids. And matter of fact, I think there's 3 or 4 different colored lids along with a wooden lid that you can get to go with that same jar. Okay, number 2, what size is that jar and what company sells them in the lids? They are talking about the 9-ounce straight-sided threaded jar, also from CandleScience. I do have a few other places that I've mentioned before that I can get those from, but I primarily buy them from CandleScience. And make sure that they are the threaded jars, and make sure that you look down below there and get the threaded lids to go with them. So there's 2 of the jars, 2 of the main jars that I use, which is the 3-wick jar and the 9-ounce straight-sided threaded jar from CandleScience. Okay, so number 3. Oh, what is the name of the tool with the red handles that you use to trim wooden wicks, and where can I purchase it? It is actually called a nail cutter, not fingernail, like nails, like you would pound into a board and you would cut them. And you order that off of Amazon, and I will gladly put that in the link down below. It's very handy if you are using wooden wicks with your candles. It gives you a nice even cut along the wooden wick. Number 4, this is bad when you can't read your own handwriting. Well, I do wear glasses, but I don't wear them when I have my ring light on because it makes, you can see them. It has a glare on them. Okay, number 4, will the coconut soy have a cratered look after being extinguished, or is that part of the hardening process? Again, will the coconut soy wax have a cratered look after being extinguished, or is that just a part of the hardening process? So the answer to both of those is yes and yes. So although the coconut soy wax that I use has a very smooth finish to when you pour it, but after you burn it, it can look like crumpy, bumpy, like cratery sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. That is normal for that type of wax. There's nothing that you can do about it. Don't try to fix it because you're going to lose the battle. And just understand and help your customers to understand that that is a normal process of that wax. But normally before you burn it, it's nice and smooth. They pour so beautifully, which is one of the reasons why I chose that wax. But yeah, that's part of the territory, and it's perfectly normal. Okay, number 5. Where did you get your coconut soy wax? I get my coconut soy wax C6 from the Flaming Candle. And I'll also put that in the link down below. There are some other suppliers that do sell it. And no, I won't put those links down below, but because I can only really vouch for the CandleScience coconut soy wax. So that's what I'm going to put down there. But there are some others who do sell it. Number 6, can I use wooden wicks with that wax? You absolutely can. But once again, when you're using wooden wicks, doesn't matter what wax you're using them in, you have to test them just the same as you tested the regular wicks, the cotton wicks. So I would go to the website, and I know Make Easy is one that offers you quite a variety of wooden wicks, and I think Flaming Candle, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know, don't quote me on that. They may have some wooden wicks on there, but look on there for their guides as to what size you should start out with a wooden wick. And some of them will let you buy like a variety pack, and then you can have like 6 different sizes, maybe 2 to 4 of each size. And then that way you can test other size candle jars that you're using. And, you know, I think it's worth it to get the variety pack, and then that way when you want to try something new, you already have them on hand. So anyway, that's the route I took. Okay. Number 7, what percentage of oil do you suggest when making candles? Okay, it's different for all types of waxes. Since I use the coconut soy wax, I have always recommended 6%. Now, I want to give you a little update on that. I've been doing a little research. It does say that the coconut soy wax can actually hold more than 6% if you use an additive. And I believe it will hold up to 10%, if I'm not mistaken, if you use an additive. But I would never do that. So I just stuck to the 6%. And if the candle just didn't have a good enough hot throw, I just went on to the next fragrance. But since someone asked me that, and then I saw something else on YouTube, and I was like, you know what? I said, I've always been a stickler for following the rules. Let me get out of my comfort zone a little bit, and let me just live dangerously and try to put more fragrance oil in these candles. And I did. And guess what? Now, not with every fragrance oil. What you see is when that wax is not holding the fragrance oil, it's like little beads of oil on top. You'll see that. But I did not try this in the 3-wick candle, so I can only vouch for it in the smaller 9-ounce straight-sided candle jar. So quite a few candles were able to hold up to 10%, and they burned without any issues, which will bring me back to the wick size. I did notice when I increased the fragrance oil, I was able to take the wick down a size. So I went back down to the CD12 when I raised the fragrance oil up to 10%. So you do your test and you experiment and you let me know how it's going. But there were a couple of fragrances I wasn't really happy with how it looked when I did the 10%, so I bumped it down to like 8%, and even that did okay. So you can follow my lead if you want to, but don't blame me if it doesn't work out. I am always experimenting. That is like a daily, weekly thing with me. I'll try anything. So yeah, I had to start making candles to start living on the edge. I remember one time I was riding in the car with my kids, and they wanted me to do something or say something, and all of a sudden they just yelled at me like, "Mom, can you just for one time break the rule?" So guess what? Now that I'm my own boss at making my own candles, I can break some of the rules. So you break some rules and let me know how it goes. Okay, so we're going to move on from that. But that will broaden the number of fragrance oils you'll be able to use, because then, and did they burn stronger? Yes, they absolutely did burn stronger. Or the hot throw was better, I should say, not burn stronger. That doesn't even make sense. Oh, okay. Anyway, number 7, which is basically following up. No, this is number 7, part B. Okay. Yes, these are random notes. It says, may I ask, have you tried more than 6% fragrance oil and did it yield a stronger cold throw and hot throw? I think I've already answered the question. Yes, I have now tried more than 6%. And yes, the cold throw and the hot throw both did increase. And I was so glad to, not in every single fragrance. Remember, test for every single fragrance. It could be different. And remember, I took my wick size down from a CD 14 back down because I used to always do CD 12. But one note I want to give you, if you go to CandleScience website and you go to their wick guide and you put in the C6 coconut soy wax and you put in the size jar that I use, it does say for the 9-ounce straight-sided threaded jar, it does say to use CD 14. So once again, being a so-called rule follower, I was, I'm like, they're the experts. I'm going to follow the rules. So I've been following the rules and doggone it. But now that I've broken them in one area, I've got to break a few more rules, which is okay. That just means I'm having a good time, I guess. You be the judge and you be the tester of that. Okay, so number 7, may I ask, have you tried more than 6% fragrance oil and did it yield a stronger hot throw and cold throw? And I've already answered that. The answer is yes. Okay, obviously my pages are out of order. Okay, number 8, CD 14, isn't that too hot for the jar? She's referring to, and I guess all of these kind of tumbled together. She's referring to the 9-ounce straight-sided jar. And it isn't, depending on the fragrance oil that you use. So I'm going to say adjust it to your fragrance oil load, and do the test. Look at that flame and see how if it's flickering all over the place. Yeah. But if you can get, now, let me throw this in here. I'm always throwing something in here. If you use a CD 12, I'm going to tell you 8 out of 10 times, it's not going to have a complete melt pool across the top of that candle the first burn. By the second or third burn, you should definitely start seeing very, very close to a full melt pool. And certainly by the time you get about midway of the candle, it should be a complete melt pool. So that's one of those wick sizes, the CD 12 and jar sizes, that it's going to take a couple of burns, maybe 2 to 3, to get the full melt pool. But make sure it doesn't look like it's tunneling down in there, because then that would be too small of a wick. So you test your jars, your candle wax, and you be the judge. And then let me know how it went. Okay. Number 9, what does your shirt say? I've had a few questions about different candle makers or making t-shirts that I've worn. I don't have one on. I should say this evening because it's kind of in the evening. But I had those shirts made. I do have an Etsy shop. It's temporarily down for just a few more days while I'm adding some things to it. I made those shirts because when I'm out and about, I take my business cards and I wear that shirt. Like the last one that I just put up on there, it says, yes, I make candles. Those are conversation starters. And I cannot tell you how many times I've been in line at Walmart or at Target or wherever, and those conversations have led to candle sales. So if you don't have candle t-shirts, or you don't have a way to get some, you can always visit my Etsy shop. And I wear like a size large, and it's plenty big enough on me. I'm like between a 12 and 14. So, and I get the size large to allow, it doesn't really shrink at all, but I think anything in a dryer just gets a little snug, but then once you put it on, it's right back to how it was if you follow the care instructions for the shirt. So a lot of my shirts say things about either candle lovers or candle makers or crazy candle, but they are to provoke or invite, I should say, not provoke. Invite conversations about my candles. And then I said, oh yeah, I do make candles. And by the way, here's my business card. So if you want to think of ways for you to sell your candles, that's one of the ways. Start wearing your candle business t-shirts, or they're so generic they could be, it doesn't have my company name on them. So anyone who makes candles could wear them. So that's what a lot of the a lot of them are black. Some of them, I think I have a couple hoodies, just different things. But that's what they say. Okay. Number 10. Nova is adorable. You should do it again. So the one video this talks about is a crazy fragrance review. I had my 3, at the time she was 3. Now she just recently turned 4. I think about a week ago. Yeah, about a week ago. And she was, I want to be in the video. I want to be in this. So I let her be in the video. It was interesting. It was funny, but it was interesting. So I let her be in the video. And so one of my viewers would like to see Nova again. I can't make any promises, but time will tell. She is getting a little older now, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, number 11. If you posted a review, would I be able to go buy that review, although my wax isn't the coconut soy? If the review is specifically about the coconut soy wax that I use, then no. Unless it is coconut soy by another brand, it may be very similar. So a lot of the other information that I give, and a lot of, like the size of the jars, how to do this, how to package, how to ship your candles, those pertain to anyone who's using any wax. So you kind of have to pick and choose through the videos and see what can apply to you. But I'm sure that no matter what wax you're using, you can find some helpful information on here. Okay. Number 12. This is an interesting question. And I know this is by Peter, who has left us lots of comments and questions that are pretty amazing. So it says, when do you tell yourself, hey now, I'm ready to start this business? Okay. So I think there's one place that you can start, and that is when you finally, in your own mind or either out loud, tell yourself, hey, I want to start a candle business. I really want to do this. And although you've maybe not written anything down or put anything into action, once you make up your mind to do it, then you are ready. And now there are some other things that will need to be in place for you to actually get started with that business. And I would say, just for starters, I would nail that 8 to 12 solid candles that you're going to have in your candle line or candle collection. Get those 8 to 12 solids, those fragrances and those types of candles that you're going to use. And then once you're finished testing and doing it, like, okay, I've got them, I'm ready to go. And then you can start moving forward from that point. Okay, and this kind of leads into the next question, because if you make your candles, you got to figure out how to get a website to start selling your candles. And let's see, I think that's on the next page. Okay, so my candles are hosted on a website sponsored by Shopify. And I will make sure that I put the link to Shopify down below. But before you go on to Shopify, and before you go to, decide, okay, hey, I'm working on my website today, it will go much smoother if you have prepared the other things that are necessary to add to your website. So I'm not going to take you step by step how to build this website, because there are experts out there, and even Shopify experts out there, who will hold your hand and take you step by step. What I'm going to do is tell you how to get prepared to get ready to start your website. So there are some things that you are going to need. Let me see here. Yeah, okay. So how to prepare for your website. So there are some things that you're going to need. You're going to have to make sure that these things are locked in. You've made up your mind. I mean, they can be subject to change anywhere down the road. But for the main part, that you've made notes on these things and you're ready, you have this information written down. Okay, so you'll need a business name. You'll need somewhat of a color scheme. And even I just recently changed mine. I don't know if anyone has noticed. I took the teal out and I put in the color of a paper bag, because I kind of wanted my candles to project like a natural material and nature and minimalist and all those things kind of wrapped up together. So a color scheme, a logo, and you want to get a favicon. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And that's just a little tiny square. I don't know if you've ever seen it when you have a lot of pages open in your browsers on your laptop and they have little symbols at the top, like YouTube has a little red arrow and a little red box, and you can tell which page is which because you can see that little thing. That's what it is. And to create that, you don't have to go and pay anyone. If you just start learning how to use Canva, Canva is a great investment. If you're going to be in the candle business, if you can't do it, then whoever your partner is, your husband, your wife, whoever it is, see if one of you can go on Canva and at least start the process of learning how to use it. It's really, really worth having that as a skill set. Okay, so I'm going to keep moving down the line. You want to have a tagline. So my tagline is that living should be unforgettable. And I came up with that tagline when my son passed away, and I just sit there and I said, I just can't believe he's just gone. And there's just nothing, he's just gone. And so by starting this candle business, I said, his name and his likeness and his stories will live forever. So living should be unforgettable. And that's my tagline for my candles, to give people experiences and special occasions and things of that nature so that they'll never forget. Okay, you want to have product categories. And by product categories, I mean like when you go onto a candle website, you'll see people, they'll have it separated by different scents. They'll have like florals, they'll have woodsy, they'll have musk, or they'll have masculine. So those would be your different categories if you're grouping your candles by scents. Then you could do it by sizes. You could say single wick, then 3 wick, then 2 wick, or extra large candles, or whatever you want to name it at that point. You could let's see, you could group the categories by candle styles. So it could be like I don't know, like spa candles, or horoscope candles, or I don't know, magical candles, something like that. The other thing, or they could be candles with wooden wicks, candles with cotton wicks. Another way that you could group them by is by seasons. You could say like this is summer, spring, winter, and fall, and you could separate them by that way. And then, you know, the home button, or when you click home or all candles or shop now, it always goes back to it should list all of your candles that you offer to sell. Usually is how they're set up. Okay, you want to have this is moving on from product categories. This is moving on to photos. I cannot stress to you enough how important photos are for a website. They must be crisp. They must be clear. You're probably going to need to do some research, how to take a great product photo. Make sure that you have the proper lighting. So I'm going to go down through the list. And that's, again, when Canva comes in to great help, because like if you build a website on Shopify, the average photo on there, I use the size 2048 pixels by 2048 pixels. So no matter what I shoot with my camera or what I shoot with my phone, I can go to Canva and I can put in that custom size, and I can edit and fit that picture right into that size so that I know it's going to be a perfect look when I go to upload it to the website. So once again, Canva coming in handy again. Okay, also for Canva, it helps with the sizing. Also, allows you to add text to the pictures and different things. They, you know, images, graphics, just all kind of designer things. Once you get on there and you start learning, you'll absolutely love it, and you'll see how helpful it can really be for your business. Okay, lighting. The one suggestion that I would like to make is that natural lighting. So if you can maybe set your things on the table with the backdrop or whatever you're using and put them close to a window, maybe not direct sunlight, but just a window where a lot of light is coming in, maybe just not direct sun, like just beaming down on your table. And you'll be able to tell if your things in your pictures look like blurred out or faded out, you use too much light. If it comes back and just looks amazing, then you'll be able to tell when you've used too much light or in too much direct sunlight. So for your pictures, you'll want the use of Canva for sizing and adding text and graphics. You'll want to get your lighting. If you don't have a way to take pictures within natural sunlight, you'll want to either use a ring light or something of that nature to provide some extra light. Okay, so then you'll want to add some props. So you might want to add like a piece of fabric or a seashell or a cup of coffee or maybe just an empty cup and make it look like it's a cup of coffee sitting there. You know, just different props, pieces of wood. That's really big. Like people looks like they took and cut a tree and sliced off a piece about that thick and they had their candles sitting on there. Oh, and one thing, if you want to get some ideas for photos, on my Instagram, I am starting to post photo shoot peek, which means I show you how I had and I use replica boards, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. I show you how I set up everything on my replica boards, and then I show you the actual shot that I got after I edited it down and, you know, and everything was done. So that could give you some helpful hints. And also just Google replica boards, and I think a lot of people post them on their Instagram pages, on, you know, Facebook pages, things of that nature. And even on the replica surfaces, I think it's replicasurfaces.com is their website. I'll make sure that I put that in the link. Now, these boards are a little pricey. They are, if you just buy a single board, I think it's like $89 a board. But they are well worth it. They are very sturdy, very durable, waterproof. Like if you're doing something, you spill wax, no worry, you can just wipe it off and clean it off. They really do last. And the special effects, like it's just not like a normal backdrop. So for me, they're very much worth it. Okay, so we talked about Canva for the sizing, adding text, lighting, props, and your background. You can find a nice corner in your house and just take pictures that way. Now, for me, I use either my vlogging camera or I use my iPhone, and those take pretty good pictures for me. So I don't know what kind of phone you're using or if you have a camera, but you don't have to go out here and just go over the top and buy some crazy or hire a professional photographer. You can, if you can, you know, try to get crafty with it and try to do most of it on your own. And then that way it will save you some money. Okay. And then you'll have to create your category images. So let's say, like on my website, I have fall and winter candles. But for my images, I did one candle with like a Christmassy background, but not over the top Christmassy. Because these are the category images you will see on your home page. Soon as people click on your website, those are the images you see. They are not the same as the candle images, like once you go shopping and you're looking at the different candles. So that would be a difference. Okay. You'll want to have a domain name, and I think you can actually purchase a domain name through Shopify. So that can pause for a minute, and later in this process, you can get that when you're actually ready to get your website. At least make some notes of what you're thinking of for a domain name. Okay, this next thing is going to be very, very time saving if you do it in advance. You want to do your product dimensions, the weight and the size. You want to like the diameter of that jar, the height of that jar. You want to do, you know, the weight of the jar by itself. And then once you get into your packaging, if you know how you're going to be shipping these orders, you'll want to do, oh, that's kind of getting over into the mailing part. And I'm just throwing this all out here so that you can just have a heads up on things that you can prepare for before you actually start doing your website. So I have down here package product weight. So for instance, I have 4 or 5 different size boxes that I use all the time. And if I get an order that's so big that it doesn't fit in like my biggest box, then I will combine the information of 2 separate boxes to get and I'll just do 2 different labels, which will probably balance out to be about right in the end. So you'll want to know your box sizes, because when you get to the part of the shipping, they're going to ask you, and try to keep it to down around anywhere between 3, 5 at the most. And then that way it's easier for you to pick out when you go to choose that weight when you're going to actually ship this product. And you'll get Shopify. What I really loved about it is it does walk you through. And if you have that extra video that you can watch while you're building it, I mean, I'm telling you, you don't have to have any website smarts to build a website on Shopify. If you just follow that video and you follow the instructions, because Shopify literally walks you through it, I have all the faith in you. If I can do it, you can do it. That's my motto. Because I definitely was not a website builder, but I think I did pretty good, not too bad. So next is going to be pages that almost every website has. And it would be helpful and time saving if you go ahead and write this information, research it and have it all written up and ready to go. Maybe even do it on a Word document where you can copy and paste it to the website. Before I get into some of these pages, just know that Shopify, I believe, has some kind of generic pages for some of these, and you just fill in your company name and the information as it pertains to. It's kind of like a fill in the blank, and then once you do all of that, it's your page. It's your information that's on there. So so moving on to the pages. You'll want to have your contact information, your shipping policy, refund policy, privacy policy, terms of service, and an About Me page. So like I said, when you go through the Shopify website and you're building your website, I think they have generic things that you can fill in your information. Now your About Me page, you're going to have to get creative, maybe look at other people's websites and kind of get a feel for what they wrote. Don't put the same thing. Right from your heart, right from what is important to you, what you want people to know, and what sets your candles apart from someone's. Why did you choose this design? Or, why are these significant or important in your life? Okay. So that's the pages. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of those pages. Contact, shipping, refund, privacy, terms of service, and your About Me page. Okay. Moving on to the next item that you will need for your website in advance. Product descriptions. Every candle should have a brief description. They should be able to read that description and get a feel for what that candle smells like. So keep this in mind, that description with the image and that description could mean the difference between a sell or no sell. Also in the description, you can use descriptive words like a burst of citrus, or you can use just so romantic or so warm, just set a tone for them, set a mood for them. What is this candle feeling like? So do a product description for every single candle that you have. And in that description, you will want to put, you don't have to put every single fragrance note that's in that candle, but I would put at least one of the top note, the middle note, and the bottom note, just to give them an idea of what this candle is going to smell like, because the fragrance is what sells that candle. And since they're not there in the store to pick it up and smell it, they're going to want to know, oh, what does this candle smell like? Not just some cutesy name that doesn't tell them how this candle smells. But those fragrance notes, once they read that description, then they should be able to get a better feel of what that candle smells like. Okay, let's see. So down below, I'm going to put a link to Shopify, link to Canva, a link to the Shopify store setup video, and it's one of the ones that I actually used. And that video is put out by Casual E-commerce, and it's called I'm getting tired. It's getting Shopify. Okay, we can do this. It's called Shopify Craft Theme Customization. Craft Theme Design Tutorial. That's it. Okay. And I think also below this video that I'm going to link that shows you how to set up Shopify, you'll get a 14-day free trial. So this is not from me. It's from the guy that put up the video, and he has the link, and you'll get, I think if you go onto Shopify for the very first time, you always get a 14-day free trial. So that helps if you're, just want to get on there and get a feel if you can really actually do this. Okay, so the one thing that I really want to emphasize about that video is that go step by step with it. When it tells you about a part, you can keep going back, replay it again, go back, replay it again. And it would be good if you had, like I have a desktop and then I have a laptop, or I can use my other computer that has 2 screens. I have the video on one screen playing, I stop it, then I go over here and work on the website. Then I go back over here and play the video again. I'm like, okay, this is what we do next. And then I go over here and I do this. And before I knew it, I had a whole website. So you can do it. I have faith. Let me see. Yeah, this is one of those videos where I just have to follow these notes. Just follow along as you build, and I think that should be enough on the website information to get you started. As far as the question and answers, if I haven't fully answered them for you, or if you have new questions, please put them in the comments down below. And at this time, I want to just stop and take time to say, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and you can hit that button down below to subscribe. So once again, I want to thank all of my new subscribers. I want to thank my new members to my club, to the private candle making club. Also want to thank you for your still wonderful, amazing comments. You always say, you're doing a great job, keep going. I need that. I really do need that. Recently, I got a couple of private messages in my DMs on Instagram. They were really touching. I try to really make sure that I reach back out to you guys because, just like me, we're all human. We're all in this life together, and people go through some things, and I mean, that's why I even started candle making. And this is a journey, and I don't want this to be stressful for you. I want you to take your time, just, one day at a time. So what if you didn't get that candle made this weekend like you thought you were going to get made? Make it Monday, make it Tuesday, make it whenever. Don't let this stress you out, because remember, the goal here is to succeed in your own time, because candles are always going to be there, but it is not to cause you stress. And I had to tell myself that. It's like, oh, I wanted this done by that time. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm taking something that I love and I'm turning it into a stressful situation. So don't do that. Don't do that. I know we can have fun here. We can chit chat. You can send me messages. A lot of you have seen your names, and, we've messaged back and forth. So I just want to say, if I didn't say it in the beginning, just welcome to our little candle group here. And I'm not the private group, but the regular of us that are on the YouTube channel. If you want to join, there's a little button down below, and you can just click join, and that will put you into the private group, which I do give a little more heads up and a little more information there than I will here. It's brand new, so we haven't done a lot, just a little. But as time goes on, more and more will show up there. Also, I have a Facebook page. I have an Instagram page. Some of you already know this, but I'm just going to say it. Don't judge me. I do have a TikTok page, but I'm learning. I've kind of been all over the place just doing random videos, and yeah, it's Will Candles. So just know that I was on there, and every type of video that I did was a learning curve for me. Okay, so now that I'm past that. All right, so that's it. I'm going to stop rambling on, as I like to do towards the end. I hope you found this video informative and helpful, and I hope that information to prepare to start to create a website is helpful. If you don't have a clue of how to do some of those things, just look it up on YouTube. how to take product photos, how to create a favicon. I will tell you this, if some of you already know how to use Canva, I make my favicon 500 pixels by 500 pixels, even though they're going to shrink it down to 16 by 16. You can put it there and then it will be fine. It will just be fine. And my favicon is just simply a W. I think it's a black background with a white W in it. So it doesn't have to be anything fancy, just something that people can identify your page with. And I think it also makes your page look a little more professional. Okay, that's it. I'm rambling on, and I'm going to get off here, try to hurry up and get this edited and get it out to you guys. And I shall see you guys next week. And by the way, I have a new grandbaby who's about to be born any day. It's a boy, and we already know his name. I won't tell you until after he's born, and I'll let you know when the time comes. All right, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and like I said, if you haven't subscribed, you can click down below and subscribe on the channel, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.